I have spent the weekend unpacking ADHD, okay? And I wanted to talk to you about how this ADHD thing has impacted my ability to be healthy. Okay, so number one, it has left me with this deep-seated belief that something is wrong with me. Whether that's through the anxiety that ADHD inputted into my life, or is it this knowing at a really young age that I wasn't like most of the other kids in school and not really understanding why. So I've had this belief for forever that something's wrong with me, and I've been constantly seeking for the thing that has been wrong with me for forever because I can't just be healthy. Okay, so that's number one, is this never-ending searching of the thing that's wrong with me. Number two, binge eating. I thought that my binge eating was deeply rooted in the trauma that I had, and possibly it can, but I have worked on that trauma in so many ways, and I still go to this place of binge eating. I can be on plan for X amount of time, and then I just can't anymore. No different than some of the things that happen in my personal life where I'm doing really good and then I just can't. I reach the shutdown mode. And so then I go back and I turn back to food, because what my body has learned as a way for me to get that dopamine and serotonin is food. And so I have this very deep addiction to those things that I have been working on, not having that addiction. The other thing that I've noticed is there's been a few points in my life where I have had clearly defined crashes. And they've all been centered around times where I have quit caffeine. So somewhere in my life, I learned, just like I had with food, that caffeine helps to regulate and stimulate my brain so that it functions better. When I was working, I was at the Coke machine a lot, and I thought that that was a sugar addiction until this weekend where it hit home. I recently, again, my brain crashed, and about 4 weeks ago, I quit drinking Diet Coke, and for the most part have quit my intake of caffeine because of that. And when I look at the times where I was most productive, I was addicted to either Diet Coke or Monster. My brain just knew that it needed caffeine, and I thought it was the sugar, and I'm sure it was the sugar, but Coke Zero and Monsters didn't have sugar, so there was something in the caffeine that was helping my brain work better. And so I'm sitting over here judging myself and saying I shouldn't have these things, they're not good for me, there's sucralose, blah blah blah, all these things. But then when I quit them, I go through a mental health crisis, and I can now look back and I can see the pattern where this has happened 3 times. And I come back to this thing because it actually allows my brain to work better. And then when I talk about changing habits, when you have, I guess, a brain like I have really deep habits, and it's not as easy for me to talk myself through the habit change. So even though I know what to say to myself, and the advice that I give to my clients works over and over again, they get transformation, it doesn't work for my brain because I'm giving neurotypical advice, and I've been trying to change my life with neurotypical advice and have struggled with consistency like crazy. And so now I'm on this journey of learning how my brain needs me to engage with it. If that even makes sense at all. It's not like most people's brains. And there's things that I love about it. And there's gifts that, when I look back on understanding now what ADHD is, there's a lot of gifts that it has given me, and now I get to learn how to use those gifts and also maybe avoid some of the crashes and mental health breakdowns that I've been having, and hopefully get rid of the anxiety and the depression that I've been fighting with nutrition, because I thought all of it was just based on how I needed to feed my body. And I do believe that there is a huge connection between how we feed our body and the symptoms of ADHD, but also there is this component of you do have ADHD, and your brain also just doesn't work the way you want it to or thought it should. That would be the answer, the way you thought it should. And another long video because apparently I have a lot to process about this. So I will share as I feel like I need to about this journey, while also talking about the regular nutritional content. So yeah.